Computer. Hey there, so I'm Marianne Teft and this is Lauren Wilson, and we just wanted to do a quick basically chat to let people know what was going on in terms of both the SAT and ACT testing. Lauren here recently took the ACT, so I wanted to talk to her about some of her experiences and what was going on. So Lauren, let's talk a little bit about before you took the ACT. So you took it, what date, what was your test date?
I took it on December 13th.
Okay, so very recently. And so you did my ACT prep class. And so one thing I think would be interesting is how did you feel like before the test versus after the test, having taken the test before? So maybe some of your thoughts on that.
Yeah, so I've taken the ACT 2 times before. And so I definitely thought this time was a little bit easier because I've never done prep before.
Mhm.
And so I think specifically it really helped me with math because a lot of before I didn't know how to do quite a few problems, but now I like knew how to do a lot of them. So that was really helpful. Um, yeah, so with prep, I think that did really well. And I think honestly, just kind of getting used to the question types, like that helped me in science and reading a lot
Mhm.
because with not looking at basically a textbook for, months, that definitely was helpful. So.
Awesome. Could you maybe tell people why you were taking the test and maybe your grade and kind of the background on that?
Yeah, so I was taking the test because there's for the school I'm going to next year, which is Liberty University. I there's like a scholarship, and so I had a 31, and I wanted to get to like the next tier of scholarships. So
Very good. So tell us a little bit about your location. So this is kind of new in the testing world. So tell us about where you took the test, what you did leading up to the test, all that kind of stuff.
yeah, so I took the test at the Bellevue Hilton, I believe, and I actually spent the night not at the Bellevue Hilton, but like at a nearby hotel,
Hmm.
and that really helped a lot because I didn't have to wake up like super early, so it was just like not too stressful in the morning.
I
Um, and then yeah, so basically there's quite a few people, but I never felt unsafe because everyone was wearing masks, obviously, and pretty socially distant, like when we were waiting in line and things like that. But there were quite a few people.
How many people do you think, if you were to eyeball or kind of guesstimate?
Um, so in my test room, I'd almost want to say maybe 50 or 60. I'm not sure.
Mhm.
But like the ballroom, my ballroom is halfway full. So, and then like there's quite a
Were
space.
there other ballrooms open?
I think there was one other open, and then there were some smaller testing rooms if you like needed extra time or something like that.
Okay, very cool. And so did you have your own like round table to yourself or how did that work?
Yeah, so there were long tables, and so there was about two people at like either end of the table.
Oh, nice.
Also, something to note was there was no clock, or the clock that was in the room was not working,
Oh,
and so there was no clock, and you had to like solely rely on them saying it.
right. Did you
Like,
have a digital watch of your own?
yeah, I had a watch. Yeah, but if I was solely relying on the like person who was conducting the test, it would have been a lot more stressful because
Mhm.
she didn't really like she wasn't consistent about telling us the time. So
Right, right. That's so stressful. I'm always like, get a clock. So I'm glad that you had one. That's awesome. So I know you mentioned to me that it took a really long time because there were so many people and the social distancing to get everybody kind of squared away. So tell us about kind of food and then how long do you think it took to just get set up and go? And we're so
yeah,
I imagine you had to be there at like 7:45 or something.
I believe I was there at 7:45, and then I think they started checking in people at either I think maybe 8.
Hmm.
But it took them over an hour. Like we didn't start
Wow.
the test till after 9. And
Okay.
so yeah, I was definitely like, oh, I told my mom the wrong time. But yeah, so definitely they were pretty behind, but I ate a good breakfast, so we were covered. But
Oh, nice.
definitely bring lots of snacks and things like that. You can't eat in the ballroom, but like you just go outside and
And right, and have that. What would be your main takeaways or piece of advice for students, maybe who might be taking the test in February or March coming up if things haven't opened up, like normal testing times? any kind of pieces of advice that you would give to upcoming students taking the test?
I would definitely practice when you're like either taking a practice test or something, at least do once where you're timing yourself. Because I found that I actually, like, I was running out of time on basically every test, which I didn't think that that would have been a problem. So I would have done that.
Very good. Well, thank you for meeting and kind of sharing your experience, and totally appreciate it.
Thank you so much.